Kantian fairness, reciprocity. When somebody gives you something, you have the need to give back. We're going to talk a little bit about Google. I'm going to post this in the group. If you're not in my group for digital marketing, for the specific niche that I serve, send me a message. I have to approve you for it. But I'm posting some content for them to get some benefit. Really, I'm applying the very same thing that I'm about to tell you today. So let's talk about that. Kantian fairness. Kantian fairness. Fairness. Now, we can talk about this, of course. This is a little bit philosophical, a little bit sort of an idea, but this is also a phenomena. And it's what we call these psychological phenomena, cognitive biases, some of them anyways. So what this basically means is, like I said at the outset, when you give something, then you tend to give, the other person will tend to give back to you, and vice versa, right? If you've ever seen like charity events, or they will give you stuff, and so that you feel like you need to give. Probably the primary example, and this might not be as widespread these days, but the Hare Krishnas, they used to give you a little flower, and then they would just say, oh, it's a gift, and then they'll ask for a donation, of course. And so after you already got the flower, you feel like, well, I need to give back. Now, why is this important? Well, this is important because we want, and I already mentioned this in a previous video about giving value, focusing on value, because you'll get that value back, and this is exactly the same concept. But this is a little more in depth into what makes this work. And so, and Kantian fairness is a part of Kantian ethics. Now, Immanuel Kant is a German philosopher, right? So this is where we get this from. But the real the phenomena really is called reciprocity. So it's basically, giving first. So how does Google come into the picture? Well, just think about it. What is Google's price point? What's the pricing strategy? Right? The pricing strategy is price less. Right? Does it cost you to search on Google? Does it cost you to use their maps, to use their Google Translate, to use any other tool, right? Google Images, even reverse search. Like Google really has focused on value. Now, some of you are asking, well, yeah, but it still costs money to advertise on Google. Well, yes, but that's why this works for them, because they have two customers, right? The Google ecosystem serves advertisers, and it also serves users, right? So the primary concern of Google is their users, because if they keep their users happy, then the advertisers will want to be advertising in Google, because they know there are lots of users there because they're happy. Okay, so now check it out how it's really started. Now, some of you guys are not old enough, but some of us are, to remember what life was before Google. Now, Google falls into a category of, and I'm, a lot of times people tell me, well, Gabe, why do you repeat yourself this or that? That's the job many times of a teacher, because it's not about knowing, it's about knowing. And more than that, it's about knowing and knowing, right? It's totally different. I know exactly what I need to do to be a great basketball player. All I gotta do is grab that ball and put it on inside the hoop. That's it. But it's completely different to be able to do it with the consistency and with the professionalism of somebody like Michael Jordan, right? So, but it's not rocket science what he's doing, but in many ways it is. because it's not just about knowing what to do, right? So a lot of times I'm going to backtrack and like give you guys an overview, and if you already know all this material, great. But if you don't, and there's some people that watch my videos that don't, there's a lot of people that I serve as my clients who are older, like baby boomers, and they don't understand really. They don't really care about a lot of these technological things. So it's my job to make it simple for them, right? So search engines, back in the late 90s, like 1998s and 99s, there was lots of search engines. I don't know if you guys remember a search engine by the name of Alta Vista. Of course, there was Yahoo, and then there was I think another one called Excite, I think it was called, and they were and it wasn't really clear to everyone that Google was going to be the one to take them all on and to beat them. It wasn't really clear. Now, how did they do it? Well, there are many ways in which Google was superior, and to a very great extent, they've become a verb, right? Google it. So there's a reason for that, and it was their model. But the model had very little to do with business and more to do with human dynamics. Well, but we discussed in another video that business is human dynamics, right? So be careful when you label stuff. So Google beat them all, right? Obviously. Now we see that, and of course hindsight is always 20/20. So Google. So what did they do that was different? They focused on the user experience. How did they do that? Well, they did it through ranking of the websites. What was different the way they did it? Well, many search engines before Google used to rank websites solely based on content. In other words, if I am serving digital marketing, for example, if you're in some of my programs, or you might even be a client of mine, you know that that's what I do. Now, if back in the day, if I had a website and it had the words digital marketing many times, a search engine would say this is probably a good website. So it would rank the website up in the levels. Of course, people found all kinds of loopholes to do what we call SEO. Now, again, a lot of you guys might already know what SEO is, but you'd be surprised how many people do not know, have a clue what SEO is. This is search engine optimization, which means being able to optimize your web page so that it appears higher up on Google. So there are many loopholes here in SEO. One of the loopholes was, well, I could just put the words, in this case digital marketing, I could put them in white font behind or on top of a white background so that the user doesn't see them, but the search engines do, right? And so I could put digital marketing, 1 billion times on my web page so it would get ranked up higher. But maybe I wasn't really serving my customers better, right? So Google thought, how can we solve this problem? And they decided to do, I know what I'm going to do, what we're going to do. We're going to let users vote on which is the most reliable, which one is the most informative, which one is the most useful web page, right? And so how does Google rank? Well, Google tracks how time that people spend on a website. If they consume all the content before they move forward, right? If you click on a website and you quickly scan it and then click out, that takes your content lower because people are not finding what they're looking for. And again, Google wants to do this. Also, a big thing they did is something called, they check the backlinks. So what are backlinks? Backlinks are links to your website. In other words, If Forbes.com and Entrepreneur.com and digital marketing web pages start linking to my site, right? They say, oh, there's this great video about this. Go to this page. Google will start looking at how many backlinks, how many this is my website, and there are many people going there from different websites to get that information that will rank my website up higher, because a lot of people are finding it useful, right? And so when Google is very concerned, Google is so concerned about users. Check this out. Now, you guys are maybe some of you guys are familiar with Google AdWords. Now, this is something that I do for some of my clients. So, AdWords. So, what are AdWords? AdWords are advertising, and they're like auction style on keywords. Okay? So, for example, let's put an example that you want people to find your business in your local community, right? So let's say you're bidding on keywords, digital marketing. Now let's do something that's different. So since I've already talked about that quite enough, let's do something like let's do this. Let's do Mexican food. And let's put the city, the location. I guess any location would really help here. It doesn't really matter. But let's say Mexican food, Gotham, right? We're in Gotham City. So we want people to go to our website and find us. So we call this, direct match, right? Exact match. And so if people put the words Mexican food Gotham in that order, I'm willing to pay a certain amount for them to see my website before they see somebody else's. That's what Google AdWords works, right? And so, and it's a bidding. It's like an auction, right? So, 5 over here. Who has get 6? 6. Okay, you're willing to pay 6, 7, and you pay per click, right? That's how it works. Now, in a pure auction, let's say you have ranks like that. In a pure auction, the only thing that matters is how much money you're willing to pay, right? So number 1 would be if I'm willing to pay $20 a click. And then number 2, maybe I'm only willing to pay 18. And number 3, maybe I'm only willing to pay 15. And then number 4, maybe I'm only willing to pay $7. Okay? So in a pure auction style, the guy that pays the top gets the top. But that's not the way Google does it. Why? Because that would mean that anyone with enough money can pay themselves the way to the top. But they consider other factors too. This is why it's so genius. Because they're not just interested in making money out of ads. They're making money by keeping advertisers and users happy. So how do they do this? Let's talk about that real quick. And this will serve also as a small digital marketing lesson to some of you guys. So not just money, not just bid, but it's bid and let's call it ad format, also landing page, and then all that is combined to a score. Okay, so what does that mean? So you say a bid. You say, I'm willing to pay $5 for every click, right? And then somebody else say, well, I'm willing to pay 20. That doesn't mean they automatically get to beat you, because Google is tracking your ad format. One of the ways that they track your ad format is how many people are actually clicking on your ad. So you'd be surprised. You can actually pay less than somebody who's paying 3 times, 4 times as much if more people click on you. Why? Because they're finding your ad more compelling, more helpful for them, so that then Google actually lowers the prices for you, which is crazy. You know, they should just raise the prices on you because you're making money, but they don't do that. Why? Reciprocity. They're interested in keeping their Sorry about that. Just got a call. One of those things, right? You gotta. One of the things you gotta worry about. Sometimes I just put it on airplane mode. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, great. So that's what it does. So you put the bid, you put the ad format, and then you put a good landing page, and they give you a score. And if your score is high, then you'll be at the top. If your score is low, then you'll be at the bottom, no matter what bidding. I know some guys in the space who are actually spending more money than their competitors in Google AdWords, but they're not ranking toward the top. Why? Because they're not worried about that, but Google is. So there's a quick lesson for your business and for your life. Not just do the job, not just or get paid for the job. In this case, Google can just be like, well, you know, as long as we're getting the most money, that should be fine. But that's not how the human mind works. The human mind is also concerned with fairness. It's also concerned with giving back. And so we want to do that the same in our business. We want to give a lot of value. This is why I make these videos, and also the groups that I form. And many times I just consult with my clients for free because I can tell they need the help. And hey, that's okay, right? I need help too. I only teach the things that somebody took the time to teach me. So I'm just sharing that. So very good. So that's how it works. The score. Hopefully this makes some sense. Sorry about the interruption, guys. And definitely join the group and let me know what you think. Okay. Bye bye.